Everybody, what's going on? I'm Fabian Calvo, Fabian for Liberty. The website's fabianforliberty.com or fabiancalvo.me. And I want to get into the latest with the economy. A lot of global kind of freaking out going on, and I want to break that down. Why is it happening, and where do we go from here? But first, I just want to quickly remind, I'm doing a webinar tomorrow, 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And it's interesting, I love the fact that now on a lot of libertarian conservative radios, I'm hearing commercials for people talking about how, the economic collapse is coming. You better start investing in the business. And that's great, because I've been saying that now for some time. And, like I've always said, whether or not people, use my products and information to empower themselves and start their own business, or they use someone else's, I don't really give a crap. I just think, when we talk about, it's like, when I started this channel 3.5 years ago, roughly, I did a lot of stuff on preparation, because it was just like, back then I was like going down this journey of, I was prepping, and it was kind of new to me. And so I was sharing what I was learning. I was talking about that, talking about the economy like I do now. And, people are receptive to the prepping message. Nobody's like, oh, well, you are, I guess, yeah, a lot of people are like, you're crazy if you prep. But, by and large, the overall consensus in the libertarian community, or, the truth movement, whatever, acronym you want to use for it, or whatever name you want to use for it, is pretty bullish on being prepared. And, of course, gold, food, all important. But how do you continue to sustain yourself? And for me, historically speaking, looking back now 400 years, as I prepared my Global Economic Reset book, we did a bunch of studying into this, me and my crew. I've looked at it. I've read just tons of books about it. And those that really, aside from the crony capitalist, 1% of 1%, it was people that were entrepreneurs and business owners that were able to keep things together, rebuild society, and or just stay alive. Pretty much everybody else was completely wiped out or was completely dependent on whatever despot or dictator was basically running the show at the time, or whatever central power was handing out the free, the free food or the EBT cards like we have today, the electronic bread line. And so, anyways, I'll tell you, I get that. Look, I talk about business, I talk about, real estate investing, I talk about entrepreneurship. And I get people, probably unsubscribe. They don't like that because they just want to hear the doom and gloom. I don't call it doom and gloom. I just call it truth. And I could give a crap if people unsubscribe. The reason I say that, though, is because I'm all in there. I'm all into I feel like my meaning for this channel, and my why, if you will, is 1 million entrepreneurs over the next 10 years. And I'm committed to it, and I got to tell you, we've done this webinar series the last 8 weeks. Yesterday was our 8th week. We're throwing in a few bonuses of a couple more weeks because there's just so much content to cover. And it's just been an incredible, incredible journey. We only opened it up for 30 people, and it was just incredible. And, the information we're dropping and the reception from the people that are getting it and seeing them implement it and hearing from business owners that, it literally is worth so many times more than what they actually paid to get into the course. It's the greatest thing going, for me at least, in the speaking. So anyways, tomorrow from 5 to 6, we're doing a webinar. The link is down below if you want to register. It's free. And spots fill up. I think we got room for 500. Last time we blew through that figure. There was a lot of people that actually were calling my office like, hey, I can't get on, and you just couldn't. So now's your opportunity. Links down below. You register. If you can't make it live, it'll get emailed to you as well, but you got to register in order for that to happen. And again, that link is down below. And speaking of just the economy and why, this is so important, I feel that to develop a skill, develop a business, develop something, is because we're seeing these huge gyrations in the market now. Now, I'm continuing to my forecast, which, isn't popular either, because a lot of people are like, I get that, the guy talking about economic collapse happening yesterday or happening tomorrow, might get more views. I don't know. I don't care. I think we're at minimum a couple years away from the real, just hardcore in your face economic collapse. And I don't think it's so much going to be an event that triggers a collapse, although it very well could happen. There's multiple black swans out there that could trigger that, from the derivative bubbles bursting to a major earthquake in Los Angeles, basically bankrupting banks that have lent out here because earthquake insurance doesn't, wouldn't pay off the mortgages, right? Most people don't have earthquake insurance in California, so they basically would then, be paying a mortgage on a home that's been destroyed. They won't pay the mortgage, it's the thing, and you're talking collectively of about potentially $250 billion in mortgages that would not be paid. So, I mean, there's all kinds of black swans, and that's kind of a more out-of-the-box black swan, but there's a lot of them. But if we continue on this path, which is, I've said it all along, the Fed can't raise interest rates. If they do, it'll collapse the economy. The Fed minutes yesterday basically revealed that. They're like, hey, we're going to kind of tiptoe around, raising rates. And the market responded, was up 200 and something points. Market today is down. I don't even watch the stock market. It's totally manipulated. Like I said, it's just as manipulated as the orange juice market, the pork belly market, chicken market, whatever, real estate market. They're all manipulated. But it is an indicator of what is to come. And I think that, the market was down today because the globe, the world, is recognizing that all of the money printing that's happened, all of the gimmicks from the ECB, all of the gimmicks from the Federal Reserve, isn't really causing any real catalyst for real long-term economic growth. It's like the hit of heroin, as is the analogy is often talked about, right? That heroin addict takes a hit, they feel great, and then 30 minutes later, 20 minutes later, depending, they're back down, right? And they need more of it to continue to sustain it. Now, a couple interesting things, because, and this is kind of a concerning indicator, is the deflation we're seeing. We're seeing deflation in gas prices. I mean, being out in Southern California these last couple of months, I live in an affluent community where gas is typically like $4.50 a gallon for unleaded. But now it's down to, I think, like $3.90. I mean, 60 cents in probably around 4 or 5 months. And those of you that live in Southern California can speak on that as well, but across the country. West Texas crude is down, I think, under 85, which is big. And you have energy stocks collapsing as well. So there's, if there was just real economic growth that the propagandists and the government try to tell us, why would oil be crashing? Gold and silver, which is in a complete fire sale, if you're a believer that gold and silver is like an insurance policy against fiat dollars, as I do, is on a complete sale. But we've seen deflation there as well. And the deflation comes after the spurts of inflation. Long term, we have big inflation. I mean, we have major inflation in food, staples. I mean, look at prices of things from just 10 years ago to today. It's been inflation as defined as an increase in the money supply. We know, as a matter of fact, they've increased the money supply tremendously, so much so they stopped accounting for it. But we will continue to see, ladies and gentlemen, I believe the Fed acting in a new measure to stimulate the global economy. It could be a war on Ebola. It could be this continued war against ISIS. They maybe can't do QE anymore, at least not now, but they can create, the central bankers can, create all of these phony crises that have the general public demanding government do something. And in order to do that, they need access to cheap money. So it's kind of like a quasi behind-the-door QE that you could potentially see going on. But a lot of interesting things happening in the financial markets right now. Interest rates, of course, remaining super low. They'll continue to blow up this housing market, make no doubt about it. And as soon as I hear the big hedge funds are selling these properties, I will warn you, because that is, quite frankly, the biggest indicator of when you will see a big leg down in this economy and this market. Love to hear your feedback. I'm Fabian Calvo, Fabian for Liberty. Again, link for the webinar is down below. It's going to be interactive, so you could ask questions as well. Love to talk to you then. Thanks for watching. I'm out.